March 6th, 7th, and 8th of 1968 were 3 days. There were 34 years before, and there were 45 years afterwards in Sal's life. So he was not a one-note samba. He wasn't a one-hit wonder. In his life, he did not have an easy path when he was as a teacher. People were after him. They were principals tried to make their stripes off of getting Sal Castro, finding something wrong. He had to go to he was teaching, he was working, and he had to go to court until this happened in 1968. In 1972, it got thrown out by the state appellate court. His being arrested. He was never convicted. He was arrested. So tried to fire him from the school district. That didn't work. Had some good representation. State of California tried to take his teaching credential away from him. He was moved around. He was removed from Lincoln. They, meaning the school district, was afraid of him being on the east side. Finally put him back at Belmont. And so he started back at Belmont and ultimately retired out of Belmont. But he was a constant target. He was a teacher. He took care of his kids. He took them on. He used to have to fight to get a field trip to take kids to college. He used to they would go visit colleges. Oh, and okay, here. Why are you going to go on a field trip with Mr. Castro? Those would be the sort of comments that you had to get every teacher to sign that you weren't going to be in school. Or what the hell are you going to go? You're not going to go to college. Why are you're wasting your time? Those were the sorts of comments that kids would tell him that their other teachers would say. And you know, like Mr. Castro was such a danger. He was going to pollute their minds and make them think that they might be successful. You know, that's the attitude. He was always involved in things and paying attention to community. I was never his student. I don't know, but I'm told that it was magical. He recognized you for being there and gave you, validated the fact that you were there, sort of a thing. I interviewed him for StoryCorps several years ago, and I asked him what he wanted to be remembered. He's been called a reformer, called an activist, called a this, called a that, and he said, I want to be remembered as being a teacher. And that the best thing that he could hear is when a kid would come back up to him and say, Castro, I did what you told us to do, I became a teacher.